Hi everyone, Corey here. Today I'm doing a reading about letting go. And the reason why I'm making this video today is because recently I've been coming face to face with these different scenarios in my life, and they range from small instances to big instances that are calling me to learn the lesson of letting go. And I've just been contemplating this a lot recently, and even like in my readings and with personal experiences lately, the big theme is about letting go. And one card that keeps coming up for me is the Death card. And this card is all about letting go and coming to an end of something in your life, or just choosing to end or like let go of an experience in your life, like whether it's a belief or a habit that you have, or letting go of a person or relationship in your life. It talks about letting something go. And it's the new year now, it's 2019, and I think this is a big theme that's coming up for many of us because 2018 has ended now, and so there's this whole theme of endings and beginnings, and 2019 is the new beginning for all of us. And so it speaks about the collective, and it also speaks about things that I personally have been stumbling upon recently, and I felt it was something good to talk about and make a video about. And I believe that letting go is one of the most difficult lessons of life, along with patience. And I did look up a little bit about the 7 heavenly virtues today, and I was just guided to look up like what are the virtues in life. And I didn't see letting go as a virtue like written down anywhere, but I want to say that letting go is a virtue, and it is something that all of us experience in life, and it's something that every single one of us learns. It's just one of those things. And so I wanted to talk about this today. And I did pull a couple of cards the other day when I was putting decks away. I have so many decks, and I just decided, you know what, I need to put a lot of my decks away just so I have enough room to do things. But anyways, one of the decks that I was going to put away, I decided to use before I put it back in the box and back in my cabinet. And 2 cards came out, and they really got me thinking, and they just validated what I've been experiencing recently. So the first card that came out was this one, and it says desires. And these cards are from the Buddhism reading card stack if you were interested, but I'm gonna move this close up just so you can read it yourself. And like these cards, they just really get you thinking about things, and they give you this like deep and profound insight and perspective, and these cards definitely did this for me. It says the root of all suffering is desire, and this was a quote written by Buddha. And this makes a lot of sense. Like, if you want something and you desire something and you can't get it, then it creates this suffering. And if you wish the past could have could have played out differently, and you're going through like this mental repetition often trying to change the past, then that also causes suffering. Like the desire for things, it actually does create suffering. And so just like acknowledging this can allow us to understand some of our difficulties in life. And it also says, the steady stream of human desires are directing you away from the beauty of the present moment to the fantasy of the future, taking you away from the appreciation of what you've got and what life is offering to you right now. And so it speaks about looking to the future and like the fantasy of the future, fantasizing about what our future holds for us and what it can be. But this could also speak about the past as well, and I do want to focus on the past today and how it can be difficult to let go of our past, and how sometimes we do have regrets sometimes, and we wish things could be different. We wish things could have played out differently in our past. We wish we could have made a different decision, but it's in the past, and it causes this disruption in the present. You know, it takes us away from what the present moment offers us, and it kind of hinders us from taking the steps that we could take to actually let go of our past and to do something about it. Okay, like we couldn't change that in the past, but now in this present moment we can do something differently, you know? So it's like it's like robbing yourself of the opportunities and the blessings and the gifts in the present moment by staying in the past or staying in the future and like residing there and ruminating there. And so this is a really deep message and something to think about. And it says, taking you away from the appreciation of what you've got and what life is offering to you right now. Like if we were able to let go of the past and also, in a sense, let go of what we want the future to be, and not like residing in those places that aren't right now, and then we can begin to appreciate the opportunities and the gifts that are around us and the things that we could see right now, the things we could experience right now, the things we can choose to do to ultimately get what we want, but things we could do to be at peace with where we are, you know? It's like accepting what is, and this is one of the lessons that I'm currently learning. Accepting what is and not living in denial and trying to make things different, you know, like wishing things were different. But it doesn't change things. Like if you just stay in that state of hoping and wishing, that doesn't really help much. What helps is finding peace with where you are and exactly what is in the moment, how things have happened, accepting what has happened, and so you can move on, so you can move forward. So this is what I want to talk about today, and the second card says letting go. Here it is. And I pulled these cards yesterday, and I actually made note of it. Like I thought, you know what? I'm learning how to let go right now. Like this is like a big thing that I have chosen to learn, and I'm like really trying to learn. And when trying to learn this, I've noticed how difficult it can be, even with small things, and I'm going to talk about this after I read this message. it says, some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go. And this was written by Herman Hesse. Letting go simply means allowing things to be as they are, what is, accepting what is, without constantly struggling to control or resist an outcome, or continually reminding yourself of an unhappy past event or a negative emotion. So yeah, like this is such a powerful message, and I also want to add here that you could also continually remind yourself of a past mistake and a regret and like a choice you made that led you to this place in this moment that you aren't happy with. And so like you play out in your mind how it would be if you didn't make that decision. And so like you replay over and over and over in your head, what if? What if? So this leads me to the next thing I'm going to talk about. I call this the what if game and the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. So I believe like we all have come across this instance and have experienced this ourselves. So I call it the what if game because, okay, let's say like something happens and you make a decision and later on you realize that it wasn't the best decision for you. And so then while you're like stewing in the moment and what your decision and choice, like how it led you to this place and this negative feeling and possibly like this negative place right now, you start asking yourself, what if? What if I didn't make this decision? Things would be all bubbly and bright and maybe things would be different right now. Yes, they would be different, but you can't you can't go back in the past and rewrite that moment, you know, like you can't go back. So like this game, like how does it help you? Like it's wishful thinking and it's like hoping for something different, and it takes you away from the present moment. And this is what I've been doing for like the past week or so. It's insane like how many scenarios have been like popping up in my life and teaching me to let go of this game, of this mental repetition and going through the mistakes and the regrets. Oh, I should have done this. What if I did this? And so yeah, and I also call it the coulda, woulda, shoulda game because like it just, you think about like I could have done this, I should have done this, I would have done this if ... And you just play out all of these scenarios in your mind and how things would have been different now. But that's not acceptance. It's not acceptance of what is here right now. And when you accept the way things are and what is, you can then figure out the solutions and what you could do right now to change things, you know, rather than staying in the past or the future and being attached to the results. And here we go about the desires again. You have the desire that right now could be different because of you like going back in the past and somehow changing it, you know. So I am going to pull some cards and ask my spirit guides and spirit what advice there is about this, and how can we learn to let go and not repeat this cycle of the what if game, the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. So yeah, I'm just making sure I said everything I want to say about that. Yeah, I feel good with that message. So now I just need to decide what cards I'm going to use here. I'm gonna use my Whispers of Healing deck. I think that's what this deck is called. I haven't used this deck often, but recently I've taken it out and I've been like working with these cards a little bit and I'm really liking them. So, okay, messages about letting go and accepting what is. Oh, I was gonna talk about my personal experiences. That's what I was gonna talk about. I knew there was something else, but I couldn't like remember it. So before I get to this card, I'm gonna talk about some experiences, and like some of them are weird, but like it's something that made me contemplate letting go in this whole like lesson and like theme of the message today. So like the other day I like asked my dad if there was enough room to take out the trash. So there were like a couple of trash bags in the hallway and I was going to take them outside and like put them in the trash bins. But so I asked my dad if there was enough room and if that's why like they were sitting in the hallway. And he said that they were all like filled up. So yeah, so then he said, well, it's trash day though. So soon we'll have space to like take the trash out. And I said, okay, and like I just assumed that the trash bins were already like put out to the curb next to the street so the trash people could pick it up. And so later on, I'm standing in the living room and I see the trash truck pull into our cul-de-sac, and my dad is like taking some stuff outside and the trash bags are like up in the front step, and he says like, oh crap, and apparently he didn't take the trash out and like didn't pull the bins out to the street. And so then it led me to think like, oh crap, like I should have asked if I should pull them out to the curb, and like I could have helped with that because last week we missed the trash too, so like we don't have any room for trash. Like it's such a little thing, but it's actually a big thing because we get like a lot of trash in our house. It just piles up. But anyways, I started going over like this scenario of which I help with that, and I ask like, do I need to help with that? Do I need to take the trash bins out to the sidewalk? And I also thought like, what if my dad asked me to help with that, because I would have, because I had the free time. And so like this is a perfect example. It's a small one, but it's a perfect example of this. I started thinking like, what if I did this? What if he did that? We would have enough space to take out the trash. So this is a good example. Another example of this, and this is like a bigger one. So like my family went to my aunt's house for a Christmas party, and it was like a really good party. I had such a good time. We had a good time. But my dad was sick and he's highly allergic to dogs. And so like while we were playing the white elephant gift exchange, we were having this good time, you know, everyone was laughing. And like I saw him in like he was in such a bad state. He was like really sick, and like his eyes were like all red because of the dogs. There were a couple of dogs at the party. And so I just felt that he was having a hard time. He was having a hard time. And I questioned, like, should I say, like, maybe we should leave because he's not doing so well, like, he doesn't look so good. But I thought, well, you know, if he's not asking, then maybe he's fine, and maybe I shouldn't say anything. And this is a perfect example. So we go home, and he's like in the worst state ever. Like, he's like really sick, and he was actually feeling better that morning, but then like he feels like crap again because of the dogs. And so then we go over this, like, what if we didn't go? What if we said we have to leave right now because like he's sick, like we need to go right now? And so it sent him back. And he was already sick for like 2 weeks. So this is another example of the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. If we did this, then maybe he wouldn't be so sick. Maybe he wouldn't have been set back. He would have recovered sooner. And so this is another like scenario where I did this and my family did this as well. And like it doesn't help. It really makes you feel like crap and like helpless in a sense, because you can't change time. You can't go back in time and change that scenario. Like, you can in your mind, you know, you could just somehow make yourself believe that you did something different, and then you just let it go, you know. I've learned this in hypnotherapy. Like, you actually do this in regression therapy. So you can regress someone back to a time that was really like traumatic or difficult for the person. That's why they showed up and needed some help and some therapy. So you regress them back to that time in their mind, and you ask them how they could change the situation and what they could do to make it better. And so they play out this new scenario in their mind, and they suddenly feel better. And their subconscious mind actually prefers the better scenario. So it'll take the new scenario, the new and better one, and when that happens, the symptoms of that traumatic experience vanish. Poof, they're gone. Because when the individual went back in time in their mind and created a new scenario to that past event that initially was traumatic, when they started changing things to make the situation better and something that they wanted it to be, they change a neural pathway in their mind within their memory center. So the subconscious mind rules your memory. So like, this is really interesting. I learned this in hypnotherapy class. So you think that like when you're asleep, you don't pick up on the things around you and all the noises and everything. But in reality, your subconscious mind is always on. So even though you're not consciously aware of the sounds and your environment, your subconscious mind is always on and it's always there. So it picks up on everything throughout your entire life. So some people, when they go in regression, they actually remember moments when they were a baby in their mom's womb, in her tummy, because the the subconscious mind is always on. It's always there. It doesn't skip over any event that you experience. And that could be spiritual as well. People being regressed and remembering when they were a baby, that could be spiritual as well. But anyways, you can look this up. So the subconscious mind rules your emotions as well. So when you are regressed and are in this hypnotic state and trance, you can easily reroute memories, and like it isn't disconnected entirely, that memory, but your subconscious mind actually chooses the more positive scenario that you recreated in your mind. And so then when you get out of the hypnotic state and out of hypnosis, you feel better, and the emotional symptoms are no longer there because your subconscious chose to let go of the traumatic scenario. It took the better one and it created a new pathway in that way. And this is really complex stuff. I hope I explained this well so that you understand this. But so that's like one way that you can help heal like really, really big events that you play over in your head and have like big regrets of, or they were just traumatic. Like really, really traumatic events, you can seek out a hypnotherapist to help you with that, or even like a psychotherapist. Hypnotherapy is actually like amazing. Some people refer to it as like miracle working. Like some people will walk into a session and they were smokers when they walked in and they walk out non-smokers. Like seriously, like this happens. It's really, really amazing. Miracles happen. Hypnotherapy works, but that's one thing that I learned, and it helps with symptoms like that. But that's like the only way that you, well, there's other ways too, but that's one way that you can let go of the past and not allow it to rewrite and replay out in your life, because you keep like repeating it in your head. And there is this belief that if you believe in scarcity and lack of, then you kind of repeat this cycle of living a life that doesn't create a lot of abundance for yourself, because it's a subconscious, a subconscious belief. But if you chose to go into meditation or actually seek out a professional hypnotherapist, you can change that. If it's a subconscious thing, if it's stemming from an emotional thing that is subconscious, like maybe you aren't even aware of it, but something keeps like cycling through and it's something emotional, then that means you want to seek help for someone that knows the subconscious mind and how to work with that, because it's subconscious, it's not conscious. Like if you're going to talk to someone about it, it's not necessarily going to 100% help you because it's subconscious, if that even makes sense. But I'm like kind of going on a tangent about this. You could do your research on this, but this is what I've learned. And I'm not like a medical professional or anything, but like these are some things that I have learned on my journey, and a little bit of advice and things that I've heard about and learned actually help people. and help with letting go of the past. That's something, hypnotherapy. So now that I shared that with you, I'm going to get to this card, and I did read what is said about this card in the booklet, and it's really, really interesting, the message to this. So it says give back, and this is a really, really beautiful card. And it's like glaring a little bit. These cards are glossy. But isn't this beautiful? I'm going to zoom in here. There's a lot going on in this card. I want you to see all of it. I'm focused on this little boy up here, these people in the hollyhocks, and this girl looking up. And so the message about this is actually taking your mind away from the what if game. I'm just going to call it this. The way you could do this is actually keeping yourself busy. And I've heard of this about breakups. So you go through like this difficult breakup, and you suddenly find yourself keeping yourself busy and putting your time into really meaningful things. Like you get sucked into building cars, or like working on your car, or hanging out with friends, creating lasting friendships with people, or just bonding with family members. And like you keep yourself busy in like really, really good things that are really, really healthy and good for you. So that's the advice here. And it's also saying to give back to other people as well. So not only give back to yourself, but keeping yourself busy, and like you don't really allow yourself time to like think about what if, you know, or I should have done this, I could have done this, what if I did this? You don't really have the time to think. That's like the advice. Don't give yourself too much time to think about this. Just like go to things that are really, really exciting, things that are really, really fun and meaningful to you. Like seek out those things. Seek out really good people and focus on friendships and the people that are around you, and things that you just love doing, like hobbies, working on cars or painting, you know, that's another thing. And even though you may think that it gives you a lot of time to think, and you can think a lot when you paint, like I've noticed that painting actually, like it does allow you to clear your mind and just focus on the task in front of you, just focusing on the colors, mixing the colors, and putting paint to paper. And it's something that you could physically do to focus your mind on something that is not about the past or the future. It's grounding you in the here and now, and it doesn't even give you enough time to think about what if, you know, because you're enjoying the moment, you're enjoying painting, you're enjoying this hobby that you just love, and you just gravitate towards the positive. And when you are in that positive place and you seek out these positive things in your life, then you naturally just let go and forget about the past, in a sense. And there will be these moments that you reminisce about the past, even if it's like things that aren't so great. It's not going to like consume you or make you feel helpless or make you go through this like mental repetition of how you could change things, because you can't really like go back in time and change the past. You can't rewrite the past, but you can do something in the present. This is that moment, the golden window in your life. It's now. So this is the advice, and it's also about giving back to the community, like volunteering somewhere. Maybe you love animals and so you decide to volunteer at an animal shelter, and that's just what you love to do, and you see all of these animals every single day, and you like play with the puppies and you help out the kittens and the cats, you know, and you just envelop and immerse yourself in this beautiful, bright energy, and you seek out these blissful experiences in your life. And so the past doesn't matter anymore. It's the now. It's what you're doing now that's meaningful and purposeful. Like, you have this purpose to help people, but it also helps yourself. And so that is the advice here, and it's quite beautiful. And it also shows this girl watering these flowers, and this is amazing. She's actually watering forget-me-nots. So there's a message that you won't entirely forget the past, but you can let go of the effect it has on you. Like, you will remember it, but it's not going to consume you or like allow you to fall into this trap, in this cycle of guilt and regret. You know, you like let go of the negative of it. You just accept what has happened and what is, and you are just sitting in the bliss of your life, you know. And so you're not gonna forget it. Forget-me-nots, you're not gonna forget it, but you're not gonna allow it to share the lower emotions anymore, and you have power over them now. So I'm gonna show you this girl that's watering these forget-me-nots. Hopefully you could see them, like right here. And this boy is looking up, like he's looking forward to the day now, because he's not like focused on the past anymore. He's looking to the future and then now, what can I do now? And it's this look of wonder, you know, like, what can I do? How can I make this day the best that it can be? How can I embrace the moment today? And you start living your days with bliss and purpose, and you are just present rather than living in the past or in the future. Like, you look forward to the future and you fantasize about the future, but it doesn't let you take away from the appreciation of the now, like watering the flowers in your garden, you know, or like tending to your garden, something that you enjoy. Like, you just live in the moment now. You appreciate what is in front of you and the beauty of the moment, the blessing of it. I just think it's beautiful that there's forget-me-nots in this. It has such a powerful message about this, because we're talking about memories here, and like just learning to let go of the effect that they have on us when they are negative. Of course, like really positive past memories, nostalgic memories of your childhood, those are like beautiful, you know, and those are the kind of memories that you don't want to let go of. But like memories that like hurt you and like cause struggle and resistance. Those are the ones that you want to somehow, some way let go of, because they're hindering the moment and therefore your future. They're hindering you. So that's when you want to just find ways to let go of the hold it has on you, and just like I said, immerse yourself and seek out the blissful things and find hobbies that take your mind away from those times and those regrets. And also, it also reminds me of when you regret something, like maybe you weren't there for a friend one day and you just really, really regret that, then you can think about ways that you can almost like rewrite that regret that you have. So you are suddenly there for more people because of that. You were there for your friend the next time because you regretted not helping them in the past. And so that allows you to like fully let go when you choose to do that thing for people, you know, and you just like give back. You help your community, you volunteer, and so you don't, like, maybe you still regret it, but you don't like sit in that place anymore. You're able to let it go because you've become a better person from it, and you are choosing to do that now. You choose to make better decisions and choices for the future and the now. You allow it to actually help you and shape you into a better version of yourself. So like there is this learning and something that you could take from this experience. You choose things differently or carefully, possibly, if it's with like finances. Like maybe you made a decision and you lost some money, and so next time you're going to be more conscious and careful of your decision or decisions when it comes to that, and it's going to help you in your future and in the now. So there's a message about this as well. I'm going to read a little bit from the book about this card. It says, you need an interruption from what is going on in your life. A wonderful way to divert your mind is to give back. So it's talking about like diverting your mind and interrupting this kind of thought process, the what if game. You divert it into something positive. Giving back does not have to be difficult. Think of simple ways you would like to help or contribute to your community. This can be anything from donating food or clothing to a shelter, or to volunteering your time to a cause you feel is important. Giving of yourself will give you a different outlook on what is going on in your life. Share your volunteering with family members or friends so they can benefit from giving back as well. Sometimes giving back may be close to home. It can mean assisting a family member, giving a ride to a neighbor, or running an errand for someone. The important issue here is recognizing that health or emotional challenges can create self-absorption. Yes, so in these moments you can become like self-absorbed in your past and within yourself, but to take yourself out of this mental repetition, you can start focusing on what's outside of you, and so it kind of like diverts your attention to something else, into a hobby, into helping and volunteering a community close to you, or family or friends. It diverts that, and it's good to be connected with your thoughts and your feelings, you know. You don't want to become disconnected from that, but sometimes you can become almost like overly absorbed within your mind, and you think almost like too much, and you need to slow things down, and like chill out, cool down, and put your thoughts and divert them into something else in your life. Helping someone else will provide a break. Yes, provide a break in the daily grind that has become your routine. There's so much to notice in this card. Pay attention to the imagery that stands out to you. The foxgloves to the left of the image relate to projects. Yeah, so like creating different projects and hobbies and things you can really like soak your time into and your energy towards, getting yourself out there and the willingness to give to others. The Pegasus bounding above the lady's head is about clarity of mind. The children, the elder, and the peacocks indicate various opportunities that will bring healing to you and your heart as you give to others. There are so many programs that rely on volunteers for extra support. Consider whether this is something you would like to do. If not, there are other ways to give back. The possibilities are numerous, and you will benefit once you decide to take this step. So, really positive. I'm going to show you the card again just so you could see what the booklet was talking about with the hollyhock. So these are the hollyhock flowers. This is the girl and the dad, and look how happy she is. I'm going to zoom in here. Just look at the smile on her face. So there really is a message about trying to create more blissful moments in your life and just really bonding and connecting with those around you, and that will really help you, and just giving back and seeing the smiles on others' faces, that will bring joy to your heart as well. And here is the Pegasus speaking about clarity of mind, peace of mind. Just a really beautiful card here. Another thing I want to say is keep things simple. So one activity you can do as well is to write a list of things that bring you joy and things that you would consider as blissful for you. So for one person, it could be writing or painting or some kind of creative medium, or for another it may be working on cars or going down to the racetrack, you know. There's so many different things that could create bliss and joy in the moment, and these could be small things. So write small things, and you could also write down big things like going to a concert or anything like that. And when you find yourself going into that cycle of repeating in your mind like this past scenario, and you're trying to think about the ways it could be different, you can go back to this list and you can find something that you could do right there and then to divert your thoughts and just create that break in that space to allow yourself to find healing with it and acceptance of how things are, and just try to find appreciation within the moment, and it will take you away from that kind of thinking and that kind of space that you were so focused on. You want to take your focus away from that for some time, and you'll notice that it will help you a lot. Just that small break that you give yourself, and it's giving back to you, and it's putting that time towards something that is really meaningful to you rather than stewing in something that you can't change, you know, or something that you're resisting, like this card says. Letting go simply means allowing things to be as they are without constantly struggling to control or resist an outcome, or continually reminding yourself of an unhappy past event or a negative emotion. Doing these things and crossing off the list of things that you've written down that create that happiness and gratitude within you, and create the love of the moment, like it will really help you to do that. So that's my advice for you, and keep it simple. So I'm going to pull a few more cards about this just to wrap up this reading. A few more messages about letting go. Courage. It does take courage and strength to let go. And sometimes it's like harder than we think when we actually try to let go of something. It really does take courage. Clarity. Ooh, okay. More messages about letting go. Flow with wholeness. That's beautiful. Maybe like a couple more cards or just one more. We'll see. Universal Angel. Your perspective, okay. This card kept showing up when I was shuffling this deck, like in between these videos. My camera turns off after 23 minutes, so I always have to wait to turn it back on because it like overheats. Anyways, the perspective card kept popping up, and this one doesn't come out that often, so there really is a big message with this. So it's like the perspective of the past event. Like initially you think that it's like this horrible thing and you regret it and it's a mistake, you know, that's like your perspective and your belief about it. But there is a way to create a different and new perspective as well. You could start seeing it as a lesson to change something, something in your life, or a action you could take, I guess. Like if you make a mistake, it makes you want to do something different the next time, and it in a way changes who you are, and it makes you a better version of you. Like if you weren't there for someone one time, you're going to be there for someone like a lot after that played out. So it's like perspective, you know, is it bad or is it good? Or it could be bad and good, both of them, you know. But it's like seeing it in a new light, and a light that is better for you. And this does tie along with the message about hypnotherapy and how you can create a new like neural pathway in your mind so that your subconscious takes the better scenario, the one that you created. And you can, I know it's like denial in a way, like thinking that it happened differently, but I mean, if it helps you, then it helps you to just forget, to think of it as like it happened differently. And I did learn that our memory isn't 100% accurate. Like we actually like can fabricate some of our memories, and like we can remember things differently than how they actually were, so our minds aren't like 100% accurate all the time when it comes to memory. And so there's a message about this, just like the perspective of how you see that event, and also taking yourself to a new place. You know, like one moment you are thinking about the past, but then the next moment you are in the present. You are present in the now and appreciative. So it's like speaking about different ways of being and thinking and how that can rapidly change. Perspective speaks about different ways of seeing things, because if there's like a group of people in a room, each person has a different perspective when you think about it. So it's thinking in terms of new perspectives and changing the way you see it, changing the way you think about it in that sense. And it takes courage to let go and to make peace with how it played out and accepting it. And there's also a message about clarity, like clearing your mind and finding peace of mind with this. Clarity is thinking clearly as well, like seeing the past for what it was and how the present is, and accepting it, not like resisting it, I guess. I did talk about like how you could change the way you think about things. And in a sense, like it could be denial if you try to change your memories, but if it helps you, that's another thing. It's kind of like complex, this message here. But there is a message about that. Thinking clearly, seeing things clearly, and flowing with wholeness as well. And this is about flowing and following your bliss in life, the things that make you whole and the things that make you easily forget about the past and just let go of what is holding you back. Let go of the resistance, let go of the control and the constant reminder of that regret or the mistake or how it all played out. It's flowing with wholeness instead. It's choosing a different way of being and living life. It's choosing to let go and just flowing with the now and trying to find that wholeness that you so desperately want to fulfill in your life. And it's giving back to your community, it's giving back to yourself, it's finding those hobbies that make you feel joy and appreciation and gratitude for where you are. And you allow that. You search for that, you allow it to flow into your life, and you also go with the flow. Maybe some days it is a little difficult for you and you really think about the past, but there are going to be other days that are just really good and you feel whole in your life. But just be gentle with yourself with the whole process and do what you can. Check off that list, write a list of things that make you happy, and divert your attention to really good things for you. And the universal angel also came out, and this is kind of an oddball in the bunch, so I'm curious like what this means. Like just knowing that there is like a purpose to it all, like there's a universal connection to everything, and knowing that you are being guided and there are helpers, and you aren't going through this alone. However difficult it is, you know, there are angels around you. And you know, someone that watches this, maybe you are wondering if a guardian angel is helping you out, or wondering if someone in spirit is around you at this time, and this is a message that they are. Because this is kind of like an oddball card to come out and show up. Sorry if you could hear like kids outside. My window is open because it was really hot in my room. I'm gonna wrap up this reading in a bit here though. So I'm gonna read from the booklet what this card means. When this angel chooses to appear, she will help you to see things more clearly. Oh my gosh, yeah. I was talking about that. So I'm just gonna repeat this. When this angel chooses to appear, she will help you to see things more clearly through the eyes of unconditional love. Powerful and profound, with incredible dignity and strength, this full-winged mature angel holds within her the wisdom of the ages. She speaks of destiny on soul-level issues. Wow. She is the mysteries revealed. She has claimed her rightful place and owns her full power. Secure in her connection with the divine, the angel will help you to align with the harmonic frequencies of the universe. As you become more receptive to her sacred wisdom, your vibration will rise. Expect to see astonishing results manifesting as miracles in your life. And you will create the miracles, but also the universe and the divine will create miracles for your life as well. Invite her into your life. Allow her... Oh, my camera has a hard time zooming in sometimes. Give me a hard time. Allow. Oh, I lost my place. One sec. Allow her to share her knowledge. Take time to know her. She will stand beside you fearlessly in your relentless search for truth and light. Her message can teach you to honor the special person that you are. Feel the extraordinary comfort she administers to the raw places and the everlasting peace she brings to your heart. Be still and feel her presence. What safer place on earth than wrapped in wings of unconditional love? See love in every facet of life and invite it into your world. Take time to embrace the beauty in everyday things. And this is so beautiful. It's like a really positive message to end this reading off with. And it's saying, like, find the gratitude in the moment and you will find peace in that. And see the beauty of things and create your bliss, create miracles in your life. And you are helped, you're being guided, and find unconditional love because it is there. It's there. So I hope that this message helped you and gave you some things to think about, and I hope it gave you peace of mind and some really good tips that you could use when you go to that place. And I hope you have a beautiful day.